How's it going, guys? Welcome to Cooking with Rita and Ayden. Today we're going to be cooking our Thanksgiving dinner feast. We're going to be cooking up a fried turkey, some Brussels sprouts, sweet potato, green beans, corn souffle, pumpkin pie, made cornbread, everything, a ham. Let's not forget about our ham. So pretty much the turkey, the star of the dish, and all of our fixing and side dishes to go with it. I'm gonna start by chopping up some Brussels sprout and go from there. So let's get right into it. All right, I'm gonna start by taking off our Brussels sprout off the stem. Gonna go through them, take out whatever leaf that looks bad off it, give the top a quick chop, and then cut it in half. That's how I'm cooking. Okay, so next up we're gonna make our cranberry sauce that I'm gonna use for as our side for our turkey, and I'm also gonna use some of the sauce for baking. So I have about 3 pounds that's going into some hot water, and to that we're gonna add a few things. All right, so for our ingredients, we're gonna add 2 cups of sugar. I'm probably gonna need more for this amount of cranberry, so I'm gonna let this go and taste it as it starts cooking down. I like to taste it to see, how much I have in there, if I need more, not need more, and then add. Gonna add a couple sticks of cinnamon, a pinch of salt, not too much, and then some orange peel. I don't know if I could peel this orange though. Technical difficulties here. Oops. Got a runaway piece of orange. Peel. But just a couple pieces. So I think that should be it. Just like 4 or 5 pieces. I have 5 pieces in there. So I think that's it. Just gonna give it a quick stir. Have everything going together and keep checking on it so you don't burn it, overcook, or it dries down and you don't have, enough liquid in your sauce. So just want to keep an eye on it. We're just gonna let this cook and move on to the next. Ready to fry our turkey. We already went ahead and had it brine, that it's been sitting there for a good 36 hours or so. But it's looking good. We're gonna go ahead and get that ready to go in the fryer. So I'm gonna turn the camera around and pass it on to Derek, and he's gonna take over this part.
All right, so we're gonna get this turkey out. We're gonna drain it so it get all that moisture out. So when we put it in the fryer, it doesn't spill up and spatter all over the place and hurt ourselves and burn ourselves. So get that out. I'm gonna give it a shake so it could get all that stuff that we put in the center of it out. I'm gonna let it sit there. So we've got this draining. We're gonna pat it down, dry it, and while that's drying completely, we're gonna go finish up our seasoning. If you haven't brined turkey before, we have a full video on that. We're sure to put the link and you could check it out. All right, so while the turkey's draining, I'm gonna get ready to put the seasoning together. So I've got some onions, I've got some broadleaf thyme and fine leaf thyme, garlic, salt, pepper, and it's pretty basic, but it gives up really good flavors to it. So I'm gonna cut these onions up, fry a little bit, and then go from there. All right, now that I have my seasoning all set up and ready, and the turkey's been draining for about 10 minutes or so, and I already pat it down. So we're gonna go ahead and season this turkey and then get it back into the refrigerator for a little while. Okay, so we're using the syringe to just get into tight spaces on turkey, like on the leg and stuff like that, so uh, the seasoning would get into it. So we want to get like in the lower part of the breast. Uh, Also, this needs to be pretty liquefied. So I normally do it when it's thick. I put a thick set in there when it's, and then lighten it up a little bit with some water, and that way it'll go through the syringe easier. All these nice flavors into the breast part, and it also helps to moisten the breast a little bit, so it's even a little bit softer. All right, now that we have the seasoning and seasoning on the turkey, uh, and we give it a nice rub down with the seasoning on top of it, we're gonna let this rest for a couple hours before we get ready to put it in the fryer. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick this in the refrigerator, let it cool down, and marinate for a couple hours.
All right, we have our Brussels sprouts all cleaned, washed, and some of them that was bigger, I chopped them in half. Some I left the same. So that way everything could cook evenly. We're gonna go ahead and season with some olive oil and salt. Black pepper, some crushed red pepper, and just a tiny pinch of allspice. Tiny pinch because it is strong and overpowering. It's a mix. We're going to get it in the oven while I get the other item going. I think next in our list while this is baking, we're going to move on to some corn. All right, I think that's it. It just goes in. We should cover it. Cover it for a few minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes tops before we take it back out and get the other ingredients on it. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and give our cranberry a quick taste. Looks about finished to me, but I just wanna make sure we have enough sugar. And we're very tardy, so a little bit more sugar. I think I'm gonna use some brown sugar this time instead of white sugar. So just a couple more scoop until I feel like I have the right amount. And as it was cooking down, I also went ahead and I took some of the juices out of it that I'm going to use for drinks and make a syrup out of it. That could be pour over whatever. So I'm going to add a little bit of sugar in there too, just to make sure that's also a little sweet and not so tardy. Okay, that should be good. Let's give it a quick stir. Let me grab a spoon. Let's get a quick stir. So as you could see, it is looking like it's almost finished, but it's just a little bit too tart. So that brown sugar should help. I'm gonna just let it sit for a few more minutes, and then I will strain it out so we could get rid of all the skins and not so chunky. Those skins could be annoying when you're eating. To me, at least. I don't know about you guys, but okay. So after tasting again, and I had some helpers test it out as well, we're still too tardy. So I think we need a little bit more brown sugar, and this bottle is gonna need to be refilled. Thanksgiving meals are hearty, delicious, but it's also very rich, and a lot of ingredients goes into it that we normally don't put in on regular meals. It's one of those meals, it's once a year, so you want to make sure that it's everything comes out good and tastes good, so your guests are happy and you know with your food. Okay, we added our sugar. We're gonna taste again. I got my mother-in-law. She's gonna help me as well. So good. Sweet enough? Perfect. I think so. Here, there, taste it.
I say more sugar.
No, no more sugar. It's perfect. This is gonna make a good syrup to be poured over a cake or put in your tea, or what else? You could bake with it, put it in a fill-in. You could do so much with it, and make mocktails and cocktails as well, which we'll be doing in a few. All right, so we're gonna set this aside. Maybe over there. All right, we're gonna start first by getting some of the juices out. This is a great way that I was doing it the other way, where I was putting this over my container and pouring like this. But Mr. Smarty Pants Ayden, come here. That should be doing this. He told me to sit it in here and just dip, which is way more efficient.
Better too.
Yeah. So now what we need to do is put this in here and just press it through. Of course, you don't want to press your cinnamon and your other ingredients, which I have a cinnamon in here, so I'm going to take it out. And just press it through so we could get all the chunks and the cranberries out, but not the skin. So that's what we're looking to do, is not get the skin. Okay, so what we were looking for by straining it out to get this really thick consistency, and that was the first batch of straining, so we're going to keep going until all of that's finished. Our next dish is going to be our take on a corn souffle. There's a few different ingredients that we use. We have a couple cans of corn that Ayden already opened. So we're going to go ahead and put those in there. This corn dish is like a star. Well, it goes pretty quick. So we're going to make a couple cans. What? A cup? Go ahead. I'm just looking at the amount that we have. More?
I want more.
A bigger bowl? That's a lot. Okay, moving on. We're going to need some heavy cream. Thank you. Salt. Pepper. Black pepper. And we have some allspice. Just a little bit of allspice. You don't need too much. Some pumpkin seasoning. And the star of the dish is going to be a nutmeg, which you get to grate.
Nutmeg.
Yeah, you need maybe like half of it. Yes. Okay, that should be good, Ayden. Okay, and then our cream cheese. So you just want to chop it up into cubes and pour it in. Give that a generous mix there, and then it's going to go in the oven for about 20-30 minutes or so. Have everything cooked down, and then we're going to bring it back up and mix again so everything is like evenly distributed. Looking good. Good job. Good job. Okay. Ayden have some sage going. We have some rosemary and some thyme. So we're going to chop those up and get all of our other ingredients ready. All right, we're going to go ahead and put in our thyme, rosemary, and sage. Get that everywhere, Ayden. And add to that some cranberries. And Ayden get some almonds going, so you could get some almonds in here. Okay, and then some goat cheese. Here, you could hold it in your hand and just break it up and hold it like so. And you break pieces and just distribute it everywhere. Okay, you want me to do it?
Yes, please.
I see. Why? You don't want to touch it?
No.
I see. I think that's probably it. All right, I think we have enough of that on there. And then we're going to drizzle with some balsamic vinegar and another drizzle of olive oil. And then that goes back into the oven for another maybe 10 minutes or so. Just keep an eye on it because you don't want your you don't want to burn your Brussels sprout or overcook your cheese and have it melting everywhere. So I'm gonna just squirt it instead of pouring. And just like not too much, you don't want to overpower. That should be good. Put a little bit everywhere. I think we need a little bit more of cranberry. I think so. If I could open it. I'm just going to break it up a little before I start pouring so it's not all clumped together. And that should be it. We're ready to go back in the oven for another 10 minutes or so. And
All right, the corn is looking good. I'm going to mix it up and get it back in the oven.
all right, moving on to our sweet potatoes. We got them all peeled and washed. Got lots of helpers today that's getting these things ready for us so we can make things go a little smoother. So we're going to start by chopping up our sweet potato in equal parts so everything could cook evenly. All right, so we have almost all of our potatoes chopped up. If you've watched my side dish Thanksgiving side dishes video, but we made a few things, which was a sweet potato, some green beans, and what else did we make? Green beans and some corn. But this is the same recipe that we've been cooking for the past 20 years. So it's going to be the same today as well. Nothing different. And Jay's cooking with me this year. He's here in the kitchen, so he's learning everything. He's seeing everything. So hopefully next year he'll cook for us. What do you say, Jay? Yes. Yes? Okay, so our potatoes are chopped up. I put nothing on this. We're just going to cover it and it goes in the oven for about 30-45 minutes or so. We just got to keep an eye on it. I cut them pretty small, so hopefully they'll cook a little faster than 45 minutes because we're pressed on time right now. But let's get this covered and we're going to get it in the oven and move on to the next step, which I think, if I have my list going here, turkey is already ready to go. That's going in the fryer. Ham is almost finished. The stuffing is finished that my mother-in-law made earlier. Gravy we didn't get to yet. Brussels sprouts finished. Green beans we're going to cook right before we eat. Sweet potato is happening right now. Corn's almost done. Cranberries finished. So next on our list is a pumpkin pie, maybe some biscuits, some cornbread. So let's tackle those. All right, it's finally time to make our pumpkin pie. And is this your first pumpkin pie?
I don't think so.
You don't think so, or you think so?
I think I've made.
You've made before?
One or two before.
Okay, but never for Thanksgiving, right? Today is special. So we're going to start with 2 cans of pumpkin. These are about 15 ounce each, so two cans. We're making more of, not a pie, but, well, it is a pie, but we're making it in a deep dish style, you could say. Deep dish style. We're going to make it in here. We already have our crust ready to go, which is graham cracker, butter, sugar. Mix it together. We pre-baked it a little bit. So we're going to mix a generous amount and try to fill it up because we want a nice thick pie. And if we have leftovers, then we could use it in a cake mix, for instance. Make it into a pumpkin cake, right? If we have leftover, whatever doesn't fit in there. So that's the plan right now. Okay, so pumpkin is in. We have 1.5 cup of sugar, brown sugar. Damn. We're gonna do 1 can of evaporated milk. Okay, I like to do one at a time. That way, go ahead, pour it in. That way, if one of them is bad or something, then, we're not compromising all of the eggs. Okay, moving on with our pie. Okay, I'm gonna add some ingredients. Go ahead. We're gonna add some, when we're using a mix essence, it's a Caribbean thing, but you could mix vanilla. I will add the other ingredients, Ayden. Okay, we're gonna do like a pinch of salt, not too much, and our pumpkin spice, of course. A good chunk of pumpkin spice, of course. Yep. And then we like to use some allspice, and I have grind one, but I want to use some fresh allspice. So Ayden, if you don't mind grabbing some allspice from up there, and let's get it in a small pan so we could toast it real quick while I put in some nutmeg. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I am so hot. We live in Florida and it's hot. So while you get that toast, I'm gonna go change real quick. Too much information, but
That's wrong.
one last ingredient, which is a dash of cinnamon. All right, that's the. You need my help? You have a spatula?
No, I do not.
Okay, yes you do. It's right here.
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead and pour. We're gonna go nice and easy. Try to come down a little more. Okay. All right, so there you have it. Our pumpkin pie that's gonna go in the oven for about half an hour, so 30 minutes, 35. Keep an eye on everything. And I think we're good. We're gonna put this in a water bath and then into the oven. All right, our corn is looking good. It smells delicious. It's the right consistency that we need it to be. So I think that's good. One thing off the list, on to the next. Perfect. Like I said, you didn't have to put anything on it. Just cut it up, bake it, make sure you cover it so it cooks evenly, everything. All right, we're gonna start by smashing up our sweet potato. Make sure everything is nice, Ayden. And we're good. You have a good even consistency.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Perfect. Now let's add some spices. So, okay, I'm gonna start with some heavy cream. A little bit of allspice. Some pumpkin seasoning, pumpkin spice seasoning, and a pinch of salt. Then we're going to finish it off with some caramel or some pecans that Ayden is going to chop up real quick. Okay, I'm going to add some brown sugar, just a little bit, not too much. Okay, put a half of the pecans. Okay, mix that in. perfect. I was worried the pan wasn't going to be big enough. That fit perfect. Okay, we don't want it smacked down like that. We just leave it a little rustic looking on the top. Okay, now we're going to put that back in the oven for a few minutes. All right, our sweet potato is looking good. We just need to dress it up and put it back in. So let's do that right now. We're going to start by adding some of the chopped pecans that Ayden did. So just like a rough, just want to pour some on the top, roughly as much as you want. Like I said before, this is our traditional recipe. We've been doing it for 20 years and going strong. It's what everybody wants. Marshmallows on the top. I start off putting the marshmallow when the boys were little, and now they're grown adults almost, and they're still requesting marshmallow on the top. But it's same recipe. And now we have our little nephews are coming over. They're still very young, so they're loving this as well. So I think that's it. We just put it back in for a couple more minutes just to get the marshmallow toasted a little, and then pull it back out. All right, so the last item on I keep saying the last item because we keep adding on items. So one of my son wanted some mac and cheese, so we have some elbow pasta boiled, and this is the recipe that we do all the time as well. I'm gonna start by 1 can of evaporated milk. And then we need some regular milk. This is also a very rich dish. So, 1 cup of regular milk. And 1/2 cup of heavy cream. And we need salt. Pepper, black pepper. I'm not putting too much, even though we have like a large portion. This is 1 pack of elbow pasta. And some paprika, a good portion of that. To get that nice spicy, smoky flavors in there. Then we need some cayenne pepper. Okay, we're gonna leave out the cayenne pepper, which is normally what I put in, but being that the little ones are gonna be here, good point, it may be too spicy for them. Good call, guys. And we're gonna put this on nutmeg. So you put as much nutmeg as you want. And then we have 3 different types of cheese. We have some grated Parmesan. Then we have sharp cheddar and some mozzarella. So all of that's going in. I don't want to put too much. Okay, I think I need this. We're just gonna mix everything in. Just gonna fold everything in, so. And that's it. I'm just gonna make sure this is all mixed in, and then that's it. We get it in the oven. Our sweet potato is finished. Our marshmallow, we don't want it to get burnt, so let's go ahead and pull that out. And it's looking just the way we want it to be. I think it's perfect the way it is. And now we're gonna get our mac and cheese in. And let that cook. for another 15 minutes or so. Make sure get some color on the top and we should be good to go.
All right, so we've got our turkey prepped. It's been draining, so all the water comes out of it. It's still gonna splatter a little bit because it's a temperature difference, but we're getting ready to put this in. So here it goes. Yeah, I went ahead and tied the wings and the legs so it'll sit upright. We're going to cook this for 45 minutes.
How many pounds?
For 14 pounds, about 3-4 minutes per pound. Alright, so it's been about 15 minutes, so our temperature is sitting about 250 degrees and climbing. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got. Ooh, that's getting some nice color on it already. About 15 more minutes to go. Let's go ahead and check this thing, see how it looks. Woo. Definitely fogged up my camera. But look at that. Look at that nice golden brown. Our internal temperature on the breast is about 200, which is really fully cooked. You want to get it for like 180. But try to get it as close as possible to 200, so it's fully cooked. Alright, so it's about time to take this thing out, and look at that. It is golden brown. Alright. Okay, so I have our turkey sitting for about an hour and a half. Our internal temperature is still about 100 degrees, so it's still pretty warm. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing cut up because I've got some folks that they look a little hungry.
All right, so we are on to the green beans. So all I'm gonna do for this is chop up some onions. I have some minced garlic. I already went ahead and had some helpers help me clean our beans. The ends are already chopped and it's washed and ready to go. We're just gonna saute this in the pan instead of doing a casserole. So I'm gonna chop these up. If you guys are looking for a casserole recipe, I did one a little while ago, and I will list it in this video that goes through the steps of making a casserole. Wow, this knife is really sharp there. Okay, so our pan is on. I have some olive oil in here. Need just a little bit more. Then we're gonna go ahead and get our onions in there. I don't think my pan was hot enough, but that's okay. It's okay, we'll give it a few minutes and then mix that all in. Let's put this aside because we don't need it anymore. So to our pan, we're gonna go ahead and add some garlic. It should be so hot. All right, so we got our garlic and onions in with some olive oil. Just gonna give that a quick toss. I think this is good. We're gonna go ahead and add our green beans in. So I have a good portion here because we need enough to feed all of our guests. Into that, we're gonna add some salt. And some black pepper. And some pepper. And that is it. Gotta let this cook down for a few. Mix everything up. Gonna let this cook for a few and we are finished. All right, guys, thank you so much for staying throughout this video with us and, you know, making these dishes. These are dishes that we've made, that I made for my family and have been sharing 20 years plus, and I'm happy to share with all of you. I hope that you try some of these dishes with your family and you share it and make memories with them as well. Do you have something to say?
Food time.
Food time. That's yeah, we're all hungry and we're ready to eat. So with that being said, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.